There is a type of baby that scientists have started paying very close attention to, not because something is wrong with them, because something extraordinary is happening inside their brain that most parents and most doctors are completely missing. These babies lock eyes with strangers and seem to know something. They go still in a room full of people when nothing visible has changed. They look at your face not to see your expression, but to see through it. Researchers at the Harvard Center on the Developing Child now believe that some babies are operating with a form of social perception so advanced that it has no name in everyday language. In the next 11 minutes, you are going to find out whether your baby is one of them. And what you do with that information will matter more than almost anything else in your child's first 3 years. There is a parent who notices things, not the parent who follows every sleep schedule perfectly or has the organic pureed vegetables lined up in perfectly labeled jars. The parent who watches, who feels something happening in the room before anything is said, who has looked at their baby and thought, there is something going on in there that I cannot explain. The parent who Googled something at 2 a.m. not because they were panicking, but because their baby did something that felt significant, and they needed to know why. If that is you, this is yours. Because what you have been noticing has a name, and the science behind it is more extraordinary than you imagined. Here is something that happened in a research lab at the University of Washington that nobody talks about at pediatrician appointments. Dr. Andrew Meltzoff, one of the most respected infant cognitive scientists in the world, placed a newborn baby in front of a researcher who stuck out their tongue. Not once, over and over. Waiting. The baby, less than 42 minutes old, stuck out their tongue back. Not randomly, not reflexively, after a deliberate pause, as if they were thinking about it. Meltzoff called this neonatal imitation. But what it actually reveals is something far more unsettling and far more beautiful. Your baby arrived in the world already running a social analysis program. From the very first breath, they were studying faces, reading intent, mapping the gap between what a face shows and what a face means. This is what developmental psychologists now call thin slicing, the ability to extract accurate emotional information from the briefest possible exposure to another person's face. Adults can do this too, but poorly trained, culturally biased, socially distorted versions of it. Babies do it clean. Here is the relatable moment. You are at a family gathering. Your cousin, someone you have always trusted, picks up your baby. Your baby looks at their face, really looks, and then turns away, reaches back for you, wants out. You feel embarrassed. You say sorry. You explain that the baby is tired. But here is what was actually happening. Your baby ran an emotional read on that face that took less than 2 seconds. And something in the data did not match the performance. The smile was there, but the signal behind it was not. Your baby saw what you normalized years ago. Dr. Paul Ekman's research on microexpressions, the involuntary emotional flickers that cross a face in January 25th of a second, found that most adults miss them entirely. We have learned to look past them, to be polite, to benefit of the doubt. Babies have not learned to look past them yet. They are reading the raw data. Your baby is not being antisocial. They are being accurate. And here is the part most parents miss completely. This ability, this raw, unfiltered emotional read, is not something babies grow out of when they become more social. It is something most of them lose, trained out of them by politeness, by say hello, by stop being shy, by years of learning to perform the expected response instead of the accurate one. The babies who hold on to it longest, who keep seeing what others have stopped seeing, those are the ones scientists are watching very carefully right now. Number 2, the stress signal. Most parents believe their baby responds to what they show. The science says something completely different. Dr. Allan Schore at UCLA, widely regarded as the neuroscientist who mapped how babies and caregivers communicate brain to brain, spent decades studying what he called right brain to right brain transmission. His finding, the baby's brain is in constant biological communication with the caregiver's brain, not through words, not through expressions, through autonomic nervous system state, your heart rate, your breathing rhythm, the microtension in your jaw, the slight elevation in your cortisol you have been carrying since the meeting that ended badly 6 hours ago. Your baby feels all of it. before you have processed it yourself. Researchers call this interoceptive attunement. The baby's nervous system does not read your performance. It reads your physiology. You cannot fake it. Here is the moment that breaks every parent who hears it for the first time. You have had the hardest week, but you pick up your baby, you smile, you sing the song, you do everything right. You perform calm, you perform present, and your baby is unsettled. They keep pulling away slightly, keep fussing at the edges, keep looking at your face as if they are waiting for something to resolve. You think, what am I doing wrong? You are not doing anything wrong. Your baby is receiving a signal that your body is sending before your mind has caught up to it. They are not fussing at you. They are fussing about you. There is a difference, and it matters enormously. The babies who sense this with the greatest accuracy, who pick up the biological frequency beneath the social performance, are the babies who see what others cannot. They are calibrated to truth, not to theater. Dr. Schore found that this right brain to right brain channel is most active in the first 18 months of life. The baby's right hemisphere, the seat of emotional processing, social reading, and self-regulation, is developing at an extraordinary rate, and it is building itself almost entirely around the emotional environment it detects, not the environment you think you are providing, the one your body is actually broadcasting. For most parents, this feels like pressure, but here is the reframe. Shore's research does not say babies need perfect nervous systems around them. It says babies need honest ones. A parent who feels stressed and acknowledges it, who says out loud, "I'm having a hard day," and then takes a breath, is giving their baby something more valuable than a performance of calm. They are giving their baby a model of how stress moves through a body and resolves. That is the neural architecture of emotional regulation. And babies who see the stress and then watch it resolve are building something extraordinary. Which brings us to the third secret, the one that explains why these babies seem to know something about the future before it happens. Number 3, the Cassandra Babies. There is a term that does not exist yet in clinical psychology, but it should. Researchers studying infant social perception, particularly at Harvard and at UC Berkeley under Dr. Alison Gopnik, have identified a pattern in certain babies that goes beyond sensitivity, beyond attunement, beyond even the high sensitivity trait. These babies do not just read the present emotional state of the people around them. They seem to read the trajectory, the direction things are heading, the emotional future that has not yet arrived in the room. Gopnik calls babies the R&D department of the human species. But these particular babies seem to be running simulations that the adults in the room have not started yet. Here is what this looks like in real life. A family is having dinner. The conversation is normal, polite. No voices are raised. Nothing is obviously wrong. But the baby, sitting in the high chair at the edge of the table, goes completely still, stops eating, looks between the two adults with an expression that parents describe, almost universally, as knowing. 20 minutes later, the argument begins, or the phone call comes, or someone starts crying, or the thing that has been building under the surface finally surfaces. The baby knew. This is not mystical. This is neuroscience. Dr. Ed Tronick's still-face research showed us that babies as young as 2 months detect emotional shifts in their caregiver's face within seconds. Their heart rate changes. Their cortisol rises. Their nervous system begins reorganizing before a single word is spoken around what they have read. The babies who do this with the greatest sensitivity and the earliest detection are reading emotional patterns. They are detecting the micro changes in breathing, in eye contact, in the quality of silence between words that precede a shift in the emotional weather of a room. They are not psychic. They are precise, and they have not yet learned to dismiss what they perceive. They are the only ones in the room who are still telling the truth about what is happening. This is the Cassandra moment. In Greek mythology, Cassandra could see the future but was cursed to never be believed. These babies see the emotional truth of a room and have no language to report it. So they fuss. They go still. They cry at what seems like nothing. They cling. They startle. They do everything they can with the only communication system they have. And the adults in the room say, "The baby must be tired. The baby must be hungry. The baby is just having a moment." The next time someone dismisses your baby's reaction as nothing, when you have felt the same shift they are reacting to, you are not imagining it. Your baby is not tired. They are reporting. And whether you learn to read that report and to respond to it, shapes something in their developing brain that will influence how they read rooms, read people, and navigate the emotional complexity of human relationships for the rest of their life. So what do you do with this? Not, how do you protect your baby from seeing too much? That is the wrong question. You cannot dim their perception. You would not want to. The right question is, how do you meet them at the level they are actually operating on? 3 principles, each one simple, each one transformative. Principle 1, stop performing calm. Start embodying it. Your baby does not need you to pretend. They can detect the pretense, and the gap between your performance and your physiology creates confusion, not security. What they need is to watch you move through difficult emotional states and come out the other side intact. That means naming what you feel out loud, breathing visibly, saying, I was frustrated for a moment, and now I am okay. You are not oversharing with your baby. You are modeling the most important thing a human being can learn, that difficult feelings are temporary, survivable, and do not require suppression. That is the neural template for emotional regulation. And you are building it every time you move through something honestly in front of them. Principle 2, when your baby goes still, get curious, not dismissive. The still baby. The suddenly quiet baby. The baby who stops eating and stares at something or someone in the room with that particular quality of attention. That is data, not a problem to be solved or a phase to be waited out. Data. Your baby is running a social calculation that you have been trained to stop trusting. What does their stillness tell you about the room? What have they detected that you have glossed over? The Harvard Serve and Return research shows that contingent responsiveness, noticing the baby's signal and responding to it meaningfully, is the most powerful predictor of secure attachment ever identified. You do not need to understand what they are responding to in order to respond to them. Presence is the response. Picking them up, making eye contact, saying, I see you noticing something. I am here. That is enough. That is everything. Principle 3, protect the perception, not from it. The instinct of many parents, when they realize their baby sees and feels more than average, is to reduce the baby's exposure. Fewer gatherings, quieter environments, less stimulation. This is understandable and wrong. Dr. Gopnik's research on infant cognition is unambiguous. Babies who are exposed to rich, varied, emotionally complex environments, with a securely attuned caregiver present, develop more sophisticated social cognition than babies who are protected from complexity. The caregiver is not the shield. The caregiver is the anchor. Let them see the world. Let them read the room. Let them feel the emotional frequency of real human life. Just make sure that when they look back at your face, what they find is you. Present, honest, unafraid of the complexity they are sensing. That look back at your face, the one that lasts less than a second, is called social referencing. And every time they look and find you steady, they take one more step into the world with confidence. You are not protecting them from seeing. You are teaching them what to do with what they see. The babies who see what others cannot are not anomalies. They are not problems to be managed or quirks to be outgrown. They are, in the truest sense of the word, perceptive. And perception, uninterrupted, is the foundation of every form of human intelligence we most admire. Empathy, creativity, wisdom, leadership, the ability to walk into a room and understand what is really happening beneath what people are performing. All of it starts here, in the high chair, in the still moment, in the eyes that are reading you right now. Your baby doesn't need you to perform peace. They need to watch you find it. The parent who understands this, who stops performing and starts being honest, who meets their baby's stillness with curiosity instead of dismissal, who becomes the anchor instead of the shield. Developmental psychologists have a term for what that parent builds. They call it a secure base. And what grows from a secure base, socially, cognitively, emotionally, is extraordinary. You are already building it. The fact that you are here, asking these questions, paying this quality of attention, means you are already the parent your baby is calibrated to. They chose to look at your face before anyone else's. They always will. Make sure when they look, they find you there. I want to ask you one specific question. Has your baby ever gone completely still in a room and something significant happened shortly after? Tell me in the comments. Describe the moment. Because what you will discover, reading what other parents write, is that this experience is far more common than anyone has ever told you.